Mike Steph, this marks a new beginning. Thanks for supporting a total reinvention. The soul is still here, but the vibe's a little different. Unpredictable, hide the kids and the women. Sports of all sorts, music mixed with living. Rep New York City, but hate the politicians. Always bring the heat, Steph bacon in the kitchen. Big shout to y'all, I appreciate the listen. Donnie put the rest, but I'm still in the best. In the world of what I do, all y'all know the rest. I live it, I breathe it, I'm the whole definition. The pinnacle, the ultimate, I'm on a new mission. The Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, the best in the world of what he does. Tap in. What up, people? What up, people? What up, people? Welcome back to another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph, the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast, featuring the one and only Mike Steph, best of what he does. Yeah, man. This is supposed to be a joyous occasion, you know, my triumphant return to the YouTube sphere, to the YouTube streets, to the podcasting airwaves. This is supposed to be a joyous occasion for two reasons. One, because I'm gracing the masses with my presence. And also because this past Wednesday, some of y'all know June 21st as summer solstice, or the beginning of summer, the official beginning of summer. Others, well, sociopaths know June 21st as the beginning of the season, in which I affectionately call it Salty Summer. Yeah, this year makes the third iteration, uno, dos, tres, third iteration of Salty Summer. And since I just started with my Spanish, let me give a shout out to Sister Ooh and let y'all know that this is episode 15, episode 15 of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph. If you don't know what quince is, I'm going to spell it out for you. Or should I say, I'm going to count it out for you. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. Now, when it gets like into the 20s, I'm probably going to have to pick up my trusty phone and actually read Spanish, because that's as far as my Spanish goes, up to 15. But I digress. Like I said, it's supposed to be a joyous occasion. But as you could probably look on this, this handsome mug of mine, this handsome mug that's gracing the screen, I don't seem like I'm in a great mood, do I? I don't seem like I'm my normal chipper self, do I? Dare I say, this face matches the title of my podcast, Salty. Boy, am I salty. Which I will get to in a very few minutes. Because there's actually two things that happened to me today that's put me in I wouldn't say a foul mood, because overall, if you weigh them, yeah, I would say I have way more positives that outweigh the negatives. But unfortunately, the negatives came pretty much back to back within an hour, along with some questionable situations, which I'll get into in a very, 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 very few minutes. But first and foremost, let me put this up. Yeah, because today, Mike Steph is going to be, a.k.a. Mr. Reality Check. I have a lot of opinions. This might be a long episode because I got a lot of shit to get off my chest. And yeah, it's taking 5 minutes for me to utter my first expletive. And I ain't gonna lie, today I'm really not gonna have a filter because I'm recording this right now for one reason, actually two reasons, but one important reason, and that's for me to vent. That's for me to get whatever angst I have off my chest. So therefore, I don't carry it into the rest of my week, into the rest of my night, into the rest of my evening. I'm going to just get my shit off. I'm going to try to refrain it from saying the F word. But that's probably the only thing I'll probably try to refrain. And I'm quite sure some of those Fs will come out because right now I can give less than an F, if you know what I'm saying. Ho ho! Yeah. Man, I know I've been away for like 2 weeks. I did tell y'all last week I was not giving y'all F up. I was not giving y'all a podcast or episode because last week was Father's Day. And I was out of state. I went down to North Kakalaka to usher in the first birthday of my lovely goddaughter. Yes. I would love to put a picture up here, but I ain't letting none of y'all cretins know how my goddaughter look. There's a whole bunch of weirdos out there in the internet land. And plus, that's not for me to do, you know, and I didn't ask permission, but just take it from me. She's a sweetheart. Yeah, so I had to, went down to North Kakalaka to usher in her first birthday party, which was great. A good time had by all. I was able to see my cousin, my cousins, my aunts have some nice fried catfish. And truth be told, that's the first time I actually had catfish. And hopefully it will not be the last, but it'll probably be the last time I have catfish until I get back down into that element and have the catfish made by the same person that made this catfish last week. Because Magnifique had some barbecue baked beans. And I'm going to let it all out there. I'm the type of dude, I don't eat everybody's food. Oh yeah, by the way, 7 minutes and 55 seconds in, intro. I'm not the type of person to eat everybody's food because a lot of people, truth be told, a lot of people can't cook, and I even can't cook. Sometimes people can cook, but they just nasty, and I got enough stomach problems. So a lot of times I'm like, you know what? People invite me to barbecues, people invite me to dinners, and I respectfully decline. Not because I don't want to go, not because I don't want to, actually be in their company. No, it's the fact that why am I going to go to a barbecue when the whole point is eating? All right, and drinking, and I don't drink anymore. And I look if I'm not really familiar with you or familiar with your cooking habits, I ain't eating your shit. But in this case, I had some barbecue baked beans, and when I say they were delicious, they were delicious. Look, I am not ashamed of the fact that I eat beans. Yes, I wish I would have downloaded the meme of the two mannequins and one pointing to them like, this nigga eating beans. And you know who that nigga is? Me. I'm that nigga that's eating beans. Cause those shits are scrumptious. See, I knew y'all would which gonna allow me to start gradually getting myself into a better mood. But that's only probably gonna be short lasting when I tell y'all exactly why I'm pissed off. And I'm not even giving this shit a segment. No, because tell you the truth, it's not worth a segment, but it's just enough to get my angst out. Matter of fact, let's get to that now, so I can actually let y'all know. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna let y'all know what's on tap this week, and then I'm gonna get my angst out, and then we're gonna get the show on the road. How about that? This week, I was like, you know what? It's a good thing I didn't have a episode last week because there was a whole bunch of things that happened this week. And I'm like, oh, great. This not only are the Masters going to be eagerly anticipating my return, I'm going to be able to give them some quality content, some classic content, if you will. Classic content of me. Yeah, the face is the same. The name might be different on the podcast, but the face is the same. And when I say classic, I'm talking about unfiltered, unadulterated, stream of consciousness content. First on deck this week is going to be Miss Malika Andrews, NBA commentator, host of The Jump. No, that was Rachel Nichols. Oh, my bad, Rachel Nichols. The Jump. Whatever they call the NBA show on which called NBA Today. Maybe that's the name of it on ESPN. But pretty much her. And she put herself in the news again because on draft night she decided to take shots at her favorite target. You know what her favorite target is? Black men who might have gotten themselves into some controversy. And guess what? If it wasn't anybody else, she was going to shine that light. Shine a light on them. Hey! Shine a light on them. Hey! She was going to shine a light on whatever skeletons they might have in their past. In this case, it was actually an ongoing case due to one of the draftees in the lottery picks. Actually, I believe pick number 2 this year. I'm going to talk about that. Also, staying on the basketball front, a trade went down this week that you know what? Hold on 1 minute. This is so unprofessional, but guess what? I'm an unprofessional mother effer. Sorry about that. And y'all know I don't edit shit, so there's gonna be like a little maybe minute break in between. So be it. Shoot, half of y'all drop out after the first 10 minutes anyway. So no big loss, right? Yeah, but a trade went down this week in the NBA circles. A trade that friends and family of mine are very, very interested in my thoughts on this individual that got traded to one of my teams that I root for in the NBA. And no, not even for the Knickerbockers, but the Golden State Warriors. And that individual was Chris Paul, CP3. I've said in the past how I feel about CP3, and I will continue saying how I feel about CP3. But he got traded to the Warriors for none other than Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole got out of there. And I'm going to talk about that. And last but not least, I am going to give my views on 2 matches. Yeah, I'm going to talk about I'm going to be on some wrestling. I'm going to be on some wrestling talk today. And I'm probably going to be on some wrestling talk next week because next week is Money in the Bank. But for AEW's Forbidden Door pay-per-view was last night. And I told y'all that normally I would have no interest in the Forbidden Door pay-per-views because, while they're great matches, there's no story. But once they announced Bryan Danielson versus Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I said, take my money, please. Y'all gonna get it. And the double main event, they were the main event, but the other main event was
Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, Dos, in a rematch from Wrestle Kingdom's classic match for the New Japan United States Championship. So those are the only two matches I actually saw because I was away last night. I was in the great state of Pennsylvania. But what made it great was the fact that I spent time with my sister Steph and my brother Mark. And yeah, unfortunately, we did not record a podcast, but regardless, because at the end of the day, I went down there with no intention of recording the podcast because I went down there for companionship, for just spend time with my two favorite people in the whole wide world. Well, two of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And trust me, a podcast will be coming by the end of the summer, but last night wasn't the time nor place to do that. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking about Forbidden Door, two matches, and give my little take on it because I haven't listened to any type of recaps or reviews. I haven't been on social media, so I have no idea how the rest of the masses actually felt about these two matches. So therefore, my salty ass opinion will be unfiltered, will be unscathed, and will be unbiased and unaffected by everybody else's opinion on those two matches. So yeah, that's what's going to be on deck this week. One last thing, and this actually is a shout out to Smitty from the group home in Bergen Beach, because the last couple of weeks I have been talking about my New York Mets, or should I say my New York mess. This week, I'm only going to comment on this picture that was sent to me by my brother-in-law from the ATL. My brother-in-law, a big old Atlanta Braves fan, sent this to me to pretty much bask in my misery. Yeah, you know what that is? That's the submarine, or yeah, I guess the submarine that imploded on a journey to see the sunken Titanic, but it's fitted with a New York Mets logo. But in the immortal words of Michael Ray Richardson, yes, the New York Mets are a ship, and the ship be sinking. Yeah. So, you know, only the Mets would make me forget to put my banner back up because I'm just such in disgust when it comes to the Mets. But yeah. So that's what's on tech. That's what's on deck this week. Even though I did say I was not going to give these certain things a segment, this is the mood I'm in right now. You know when Ghost picked up that little mother effer Tyreek and said, "Little nigga, stop playing with me"? That's how I feel right now. Today, well, matter of fact, I'll start from Saturday. Saturday, I went to Enterprise Rent-A-Car to rent a car for my excursion to Pennsylvania. Because right now, unfortunately, my car is pretty much not even a tri-state, more like bi-state. I drive around New York, the New York 5 boroughs, and I might make an excursion out to Secaucus, New Jersey to go to Walmart. Anything else, I'm not putting no mileage on my car, and I got some incidentals I got to get taken care of before I put my car on the highway for more than 20 miles. Okay? So that's my situation. Probably TMI, but so be it. It's already out in the atmosphere. So I go to Enterprise to reserve a car, to rent a car, right? Put the reservation in, and probably the beginning of June. because for some reason there has been a spike in the cost of rentals. And usually I just go on Priceline. And I picked the Hertz location down at Park Slope. I've been dealing with them for the last 2 years. No issues whatsoever. Even when they got to upgrade or downgrade me, they take care of it. Like I said, no issues. Customer service, top notch, right? Unfortunately, for this weekend that I needed it for, they wanted $170 per day for a rental. I was like, I ain't coming out my pocket $400 for 2 days for a rental. For a change for 2 days for a rental, especially when it's just a mid-size car. It wasn't even full size. It wasn't even premium. A mid-size car. So I scoured the internet, and this should have been the first red flag. This location, Enterprise, the location specifically, the Bay Ridge location, located on 64th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. They had a car for the lowest rate that I could find for this past weekend. So I said, you know what? Okay. It still was higher than normal, but I said, you know what? I really need to get down there to see my brother and sister. Let me holler at them. Let me just go and take care of this, right? So I get this Saturday. Red flag number 2 was I get in, get taken care of. They tell me, oh, you wanted a full size? I'm like, yeah. They said, we don't have that available. With a Sentra do, which I guess would be a mid-size, right? Standard, mid-size, whatever. I said, you know what? Yeah, Sentra do, because I drive a Sentra. So, no biggie. I know exactly. It's just me and the missus. I don't really need that much space, but I'll be comfortable because that's what I drive. So we get to the car, and guess what? That Sentra turned into a Versa. Luckily, it wasn't a hatchback. But it was a Versa nevertheless, which was more like a small size car. Not compact, because it wasn't a hatchback, but more like what they call it, economy car, right? But I'm thinking, I'm just going to PA. I'm going Sunday morning, coming back Monday afternoon. It's pretty much just for the transportation. We're not shopping. We're not loading the car up. We don't have anybody else. We don't have no, other people in there. Fine. Even though it was kind of small and cramped for me. But I said, fine. I'll make do. So they checked the car, maybe a little scratch here, scratch there. But pretty much it's like as long as it's shorter or smaller than 6 inches, it's incidental. Don't worry about it, especially on the benders. Fine. So sign off, go about my merry way. I'm still a little upset, but I made sure, look, I was supposed to be getting charged $128 a day. Not only am I getting a smaller car, y'all giving me a car 2 sizes smaller than what I reserved. I said, no, don't worry about it. We're just going to charge you at the small rate, which is like $89 a day. Fine. Okay. So for my inconvenience, I'm saving about $150. Okay, fine. Here's red flag number 2. I see this Chevy Malibu standing there, just sitting there. I don't know if it was damaged or anything, but just sitting there. So I remember the guy that was helping me out, he was like, well, what about that car? Dude, I guess he's the manager, supervisor, whatever. He's like, no, which got yeah, that's reserved. The person's coming in and they running about 20 minutes behind. Oh, I'm sorry. If I reserved the full size car and I'm currently there, and somebody else reserved the full size car, but they're 20 minutes behind, isn't it first come, first serve? So, but like I said, I'm that type of dude. I really don't want to make that much of an issue. Because like I said, at the end of the day, fine. I'm saving money. It's not that big of a deal. Fine. Now, if I would have had cargo, if I would have had my daughter with me or both my daughters with me, then it might have been an issue. But I was like, you know what, fine. So we speed up to today. I returned the car. So they're doing the point checks and everything, and I'm like, why y'all look like y'all going extra thorough when it comes to me, right? Like, why? I don't know. My antennas just went up. Like, but I have nothing to fear. I have nothing. I'm not nervous about anything because, most importantly, you know what I put on the car, and in reality, you know what saved me from some real BS that was about to happen. I put a damage waiver on my bill. So therefore, anything happens to the car, guess what? Has nothing to do with me. Not saying I'm going to run it into the ground, but sometimes accidents happen. Sometimes you could be driving, a pebble hits you, hits the windshield, it gets a little scratch on the windshield. I would be held liable. Damage waiver got nothing to do with me. So right before we finished the check, dude looks, and there was a reflection off the hood, and he was like, "Darn, I don't know if that's an indent that's supposed to be there." I said, "Indent of what?" He said, "The hood." So he calls, I guess he calls the supervisor over. The supervisor comes in and he looks at it. He's like, yeah, that's a dent. That's a dent, definitely a dent. So the guy that was checking me in, he was like, "Oh, I couldn't tell, whatever, but he has a damage waiver, so like pretty much no harm, no foul." Like, supervisor's like, yeah, but don't close it out." He was like, "Yeah, I might need him to sign. I might need him to sign off on it." Sign off on what? I didn't. So he's like, did anything happen? He was like, "Cause it looks like maybe you put some packages down." I was like, "I didn't put shit down. I picked up the car. I drove to Pennsylvania. I'm staying in a house. The car is parked in a driveway. And then I came back this morning to drop off the car to you. Nothing happened to the car." He was like, okay. He was like, so he leaves, goes to take care of something. The guy finishes out, and then he asked me. So I asked him before I leave. I'm like, "Do y'all need me to stay around to rectify this situation? Because even though I have a damage waiver, I hear your man saying don't close it out yet." He was like, no, no. Like I said, you got a damage waiver. Everything is gravy. You're free to go. I said, okay. When I'm leaving, ask the supervisor, "Yo, I'm good to go?" He said, "Yeah." I walk. But I hear him tell his man, "Yo, did you close it out? Did you close it out? I hope you didn't close it out." I go about my business. I get in my car, which parked around the corner. Me and the missus go home. On the way home, I get a phone call. I'm looking at the number. The number don't look familiar, but I'm like, something's telling me, "Yo, I know this is not Enterprise calling me." Pick up the phone. Sure enough, it's Enterprise calling me. But they're calling to see if I'm interested in a new car, interested in a car purchase, which I expressed to the guy that asked me about it. I was like, "Yeah, eventually, but right now, maybe in the next 6 months or something, but not right now, not right this minute. I got other things I got to take care of." He said, "Okay, well, here's my card. When when you're ready, give me a call." He must have passed my information to somebody else, and they're badgering me about buying a car. I'm like, "Look, I told your colleague that if I was going to be interested, it probably wouldn't be until the end of the year." "Well, is there any reason why you have to wait until the end of the year right now?" "No, because I have things I'm dealing with. Things I'm doing." "Why are you so intrusive?" But I'm being professional, right? Even though I'm irritated, I'm being professional. Like, well, he was like, "Well, which car? You have a car, so the trading we give you good value for the trade." I'm like, "No, I told your colleague, no, that car is earmarked for something else. I'm not using that car as a trade-in." "Okay, well, I was just going to explain to there's different ways that you can deal with the car that you already look. My car is already paid for, and it's earmarked for something else. They don't need to know that." But I'm like, "Look, when I get a new car, this car is either going to go to my son or it's going to go to my daughter. whichever one goes first because it's already paid for. And plus, I learned the lesson of trying to keep two cards at the same time. It doesn't work for me. But he's being when I finally gave him a hint, like, look, sale not going to happen. Oh, okay. Well, I'll take you off the list because 6 months, that's a long time. Well, I told you 6 months initially, and you kept on trying to talk me into getting the car now. If you get the fuck out my face, get off the phone. That's actually red flag number 3, right? Going to try to speed this up. Red flag number 4. Why would I get home? I get consecutive emails from Enterprise Rent a Car. And I'm going to put this on the screen so y'all can see the difference and how they're trying to fuck me over. This is number 1. This is the agreement that I signed off for when I left, when I actually got the car. Damn. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Do you see those signatures? The MS to MS. And then, do you see how I signed my name? That's very important. So, I'm looking, and like I said, they sent me a loss damage report. And this is what it says. Specified damage, hood, dent/dents. Specified damage, driver fender scrape. Scrape? Okay. Facts of loss. Customer brought back car with dent on hood and scraped driver fender. Doesn't know how either happened. Lost location, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Motherfucker, I wasn't in Philly. Number 1. Number 2, I said I drove to Pennsylvania and back. Why? Because I'm fucking black? You just assumed that I was in Pennsylvania, you racist cocksucker? But it gets worse. It gets worse. Look at that signature. Does that look like the signatures that I just showed previously? Not only are they trying to blame me for damage that either was there and the person that checked me out to release it did not document, or, not only that, they're literally forging my signature. That is not how I didn't sign not nan thing before I left that place. And I know I'm talking way too much about this shit, but it got me pissed off. And guess what? I'm going to vent about it. Now, here's another one. Here's another kick. Incident report noted. Incident report notice, right? Guess what is at the bottom? That says renter's signature, right? Guess what? It's blank. Incident report number. Guess what? It's blank. Rental agreement number. Guess what? It's blank. So why would I sign a paper that's saying that, yeah, I acknowledge the damage, but yet on the incident report, it's blank? Enterprise. And yeah, this is going to be real vulgar, but like I said, this ain't a safe space. This ain't a fucking podcast for the politically correct. Enterprise. Yeah, E. Guess what the E? Enterprise. Suck my dick. How about that? Good thing, like I said, good thing I had a damage waiver, because if I didn't have a damage waiver, they was trying to put me to the shed. Take me to the shed for their fucking gross negligence, their gross incompetence. That's number one. And yeah, guess what? We're still on the fucking intro. Number two, the second thing that got me ornery before I started recording was something innocent, but at the same time made me think and want to know, yo, what the hell's going on? So I'm on my way back home, back to the humble abode, back to the apartment of relevancy from getting a haircut. Do you see? Look. Yeah, you can see I got the fresh cut, right? With the fresh lineup. Y'all need to see my hair because I'm going bald. But regardless, so I'm coming back home to the apartment of relevancy, and I'm walking down the block, and tell you the truth, what I'm doing, I'm actually, while all this stuff is in my head, a whole bunch of stuff came to my head while I was in a barber's chair. So I was like, you know what? Let me write it down. Let me jot them down on my trusty ass notepad or trusty ass memo. So I'm now, normally, I ain't gonna lie. Normally, it's not really great not to be totally on point when you walk in the block, when you walk in the neighborhood, any neighborhood, even your own neighborhood. But at the same time, I've been over here damn near 30 years. Not saying it's an excuse, but it is what it is. I've been over here 30 years. I don't start no problems. Everybody know me as, yo, that's Mike. Might go to work, might punch the clock, might make the donuts, might talk his sports, might keep it moving. So, and my thing is, I don't gotta look over my shoulder thinking I got beef, because I don't got no fucking beef. At least not that I know of. Right? So I'm jotting down, I'm walking. So all of a sudden I hear, what up, nigga? I keep it moving. Like, the voice might sound a little familiar, but at the same time, a lot of voices sound familiar. Yo, what up, nigga? So I turn around. I look on the stoop of a building or a house that I don't know about nobody in. But I'm figuring, maybe somebody. So I look. So this dude's sitting here. He was like, yeah. He was like, yo, what's up, man? So I'm like looking at him. To tell you the truth, I'm still in the mood about this fucking rental car, amongst other things, right? So I'm looking, and I'm like, do I recognize this motherfucker? He was like, nah, which car? I just want recognition. I just want, which car? I wanted to which car see, look at you, so I can recognize you when you come through. Nigga, I've been over here longer than you have. But I'm debating, like, do I bark? Or do I just say, you know what? Listen, I don't know where he's getting at. Maybe he was looking to go through my forbidden door. I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions. But it's going to my mind like, damn, you holler at me like you know me. Then you say, oh, I just wanted to see you, so I know who you are when you come through. Like, once again, I've been over here longer than you have, motherfucker. Then I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, all right, yo, have a good one, and kept it moving. But it's in my head, I'm like, the fuck was all that about? What was that about? I don't know. Then I'm like, did I do the right thing, or should I just barked on him? But I'm like, you know what? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. About to be 47 in a couple months. Might not look at it, might not look it, but I am. I'll be 47 in a couple months. I'm closer to 50 than I am to 30. Close to 50 than I'm in the adolescence. I'll chalk it up as, but now I'm not gonna lie. Now my antenna's gonna be up when I'm past that house or everything. Cause I'm like, all right, what you scope me out for? Fuck. Like, it'd be one thing we out. Let's say I'm out of state. Somebody say, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. But yo, what up, nigga? Like, who are you? You know what that made me realize? Sometimes I've said this for years and years and years and years. Could I even kick myself in the ass for still being here? But that's a sign that it's time for me to get the fuck up out of here. It's time for me to move. Because I'm one of the last people standing. Which is not really a great thing. All my comfort. People don't. So probably I'm the new nigga to them. And y'all can tell how pissed off I am because maybe I might throw the N-word here and there, you know, most of the time for shock value, whatever. But like I said, I don't feel like having a filter today. And literally, that's what transpired to make me scratch my head. Like, what, people done bump their effing head? Hey, man, I know you just like, okay. I give up. I give up. I give up. It's time for me to go. C'est la vie. It's time for me to go. Yeah. This segment has been sponsored by the T-shirt of the week. Twisted Bliss Coffee, even though I can't drink coffee no more because it makes my anxiety go insane. But you know what that means? No coffee, no bliss. It's probably what the problem is. I had tea. I became a tea motherfucker, a tea drinking dude. Anyway, so with all that being said and done, let me finally get this record-long intro out the way and let this get this show on the road, huh? Yeah, it's just the intro. I know. I've been talking about 43 minutes. I know I kind of woke you up with my loud voice. Come and say hi. My lovely daughter Mia, so she can show off her new look. Yeah, she gave the. No, you just reminded me of Kai just now. Because he always used to do it like this.
No. The strawberry, I didn't want to be in your face.
Look, I gotta eat it. Doesn't show the strawberry and show your eyes? Don't the strawberry match your eyelashes? I mean, our eyebrows. I got a regular strawberry shortcake on my hand.
Okay. I like that nickname.
Look. Yeah. Matter of fact, strawberry shortcake, because I could say Raggedy Annie, but I would not call my daughter Raggedy.
Thank you.
Now you're welcome. So now, without further ado, let's get this show on the road, huh? Matter of fact, you heard the bullshit about the rental, right?
Yeah.
Ain't that some shit? They tried to get me.
Did you go back?
Huh? No, I called and filed a complaint.
Oh.
I mean, no, the money's not. It's not going to be money coming out my pocket. It's not a monetary issue. It's the fact of y'all really tried to put that shit on me. Yes, defamation of character. That's a perfect thing. See, my daughter went to college for a reason. You know, and then you heard about the dude. I guess how I'm taking it. Dude tried to holler at me. What up, nigga? I just went to see. I wanted to recognize you. So when you pass through, huh? Yeah, huh? Yeah, I know. Shoot, it's what? It's the 26th. I guess he's trying to holler before Independence Month.
All right.
Okay. Okay. See that? No shade. Listen. Not, but without divulging too much of my personal information concerning my personal information, I consider myself an ally. Even though I don't like that terminology because that terminology is kind of condescending, you know. But I say that so anybody doesn't think I'm trying to be homophobic because that's not me. To each his own. To each his own. Like to each his own. Shoot, I got no problem with that. Shoot, matter of fact, I told you about the time that I went to the bar, right?
Yeah.
You know, years, and I swear this little tidbit is going to be. Some people would take this as akin as well. You know, white people say I'm not racist. I got black friends, but years ago, I used to work at a coffee shop on the Upper West Side. No, it doesn't exist anymore. It used to be called Zando. Then they transferred to Cozy. So anyway, long story short, when we finished the night, we would go to the bar. We wouldn't go bar hopping. We just go to the bar, spend our tips to get pissy ass drunk, and then crawl our ass home into the next day, rinse and repeat. Right. So on this one occasion, like a lot of the servers happened to be gay, but they were sweethearts. They were cool, right? It was one guy named Chad, another guy named Tom. Tom, for lack of a better way to describe it, cool guy, sweet guy. But he did resemble the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Quasimodo. But like I said, neither here nor there. But I digress. So one day, we used to me and my clique, we used to go to the Irish bar called Malaki's. I don't know if it's still there. It was on 72nd. 73rd in Columbus, right? So for some reason, my people wasn't there. So, but my other dude was like, "Yo, Mike, we're gonna go to Millie's." I'm like, "You going to Millie's?" He's like, "Yeah, we're going to Millie's. Everybody going to Millie's." I'm like, "All right, fine." Now this was a bar in the cut. This was on like 70. If we was on 76, like 74 between Broadway and I don't know, it's that West End. So we go there, and I didn't realize. Well, I'd heard about it, but I didn't know it was a gay bar. Okay, fine. My thing is, it's a gay bar. There's no such thing as gay liquor. I'm going to drink, right? So I'm drinking, and guy comes to start talking to me, whatever. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Which guy?" And then like I'm not interested, whatever. So I'm having my little sifter of Hennessy, and Tom comes over, and because he kind of sees what's about to happen, so he had to like make a point, like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So the guy was like, "But why?" The guy was like, "Yeah, because Mike is straight." He was like, "Okay, and?" He was like, No. Mike is straight. He's married. And if he wasn't, he would be mine. So therefore, leave Mike alone." So the guy went away. So he introduced me to the owner, Millie, who was a lesbian. And she was cool. And they give you free drinks and everything. And for the most part, for long story short, and I'm not gonna pat myself on the back for being a human being, but I think to a certain degree, especially since I was younger, and I probably was maybe a little bit more ignorant when it comes to certain stuff like that, it garnered me a little bit respect amongst the servers because they knew, Mike might have the facade of someone who won't understand, but Mike is actually cool because Mike does his thing, and he don't look at us no different So whatever preconceived notion we might have had a mic, out the window. Right? So, yeah. So with all that being said and done, finally, let's get this show on the road. Huh? Without further ado, good night. And goodbye. Bang! Finally got it. 50 minutes in. This might be a marathon edition, a marathon YouTube edition, because people know when I was audio only, sometimes I would go 2.5 hours with no problem. I'm not trying to go 2.5 hours on this pod, but I might as well say this is a super duper edition because I didn't drop last week. So if it goes long, it goes long. But I'm going to try to keep it a little sniffy, spiffy, or truncated, or whatever. Yeah, whatever. What's Malika Andrews' problem? Malika Andrews, anchor of NBA Today on ESPN. Seems like she has a problem when it comes to, and I'm really going to try not to make this a racial thing. So please don't take it that way. But matter of fact, no buts. Just don't take it that way. And I'm all for, because I saw some commentary that, well, in some cases people was coming hard at Malika Andrews. People always go hard at Malika Andrews. People call her out a name. People call it the bitch word, which I would try not to utter out my mouth when concerning them. People would try to run the narrative of, yeah, the way they be going harder, that's just another part of disrespecting black women. We need to protect black women at all costs. And yes, that is true. That is true. I do agree with that, because as you saw, I have a young lady, my daughter, who is a young black woman. My wife is a black woman. My daughter is a black woman. My goddaughter that I just came back from North Carolina last weekend is a baby black woman. I have nieces or black women. So it is protect black women at all costs. But when you throw that out there, it's almost like you're giving this broad, yeah, I said broad, this broad, Malika Andrews, carte blanche to not protect black men. And I'm not going to be on some toxic masculinity, but at the same time, I'm not going to lie. Part of how I feel is sometimes she projects toxic femininity. Because it seems like when it comes to Malika Andrews, and we have, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about homegirl right here, Malika Andrews. I'm not even going to lie. People see that pretty smile and that pretty face and that curly hair, and they lost their fucking mind when they first saw it. They're like, oh, who baddie over there? And it's almost like she's trying to overcompensate for the fact of, I don't want to be known as eye candy. I want to be known in which going to be taken seriously as a journalist. And by all means. But we have numerous instances in which she's gone not so much hard, but out of her way to mention any type of negativity when it comes to a black athlete, a black basketball player, coach, executive, so forth. And she has shown us a little window into her personality, into her, dare I say, bougie ass, when I think last season she has a sister that's a correspondent on ESPN by the name of Kendra Andrews. And Kendra happened to be wearing a watch. And this is something that could have been said off screen. This is something that could have been said in jest. This is something that could have been said as a joke. But if you read between the lines, Malika was dead serious. She was like, Kendra, do you have my watch? Is that my watch? Why do you have my watch? How did you get my watch? You stole my watch? On national TV. Why are you blowing up your sister like that? If it was a joke, it was a joke in poor taste. If it wasn't a joke, then you wait until the cameras are off, wait until that red light is off, and then you say, "Yo, Kendra, yo, please don't do me, don't do that. Like respect my property, respect my space, respect my boundaries. Don't do that again." But no, she wants to let millions and millions of people know that her sister's wearing her watch because her sister, I guess, don't have the bread that Malika has right now. So you wanted to put your sister on Front Street. But that was just a little small little insight into the integrity or lack thereof of Malika Andrews. She first came on the radar beginning of the season, when the Boston Celtics suspended Ume Big Dick Adoka for inappropriate relationship with a colleague, with an executive inside the Boston Celtics. And when I say Malika was going hard, she was saying, yeah, we found out about this, that, and the third about Ime. Ime been doing this. Ime was disrespectful. Ime was aggressive. Ime was told numerous times to stop, blah, 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 blah. Oh, but then when we asked, or when people asked about any type of information on the accuser, it pretty much like, none of your fucking business. We must protect her at all costs. But it's a two-way street. These are two consenting adults. But it was so it was slanted. It was so slanted toward Big Dick Adoka was wrong, and Malika felt the need to let the masses know how wrong Big Dick Adoka was. When he finally got let go, and they named Joe Mazzulla as the interim and then eventually permanent head coach replacement, on the day that they announced that Joe Mazzulla was going to be the next head coach of the Boston Celtics, guess who popped her ass up again? Malika Andrews, saying, well, when he was in college, he was accused of XYZ, but he was never charged. And all right, so if he was never charged and it was proven to be, I won't say proven to be false, but nothing ever came out of it, why are you bringing up stuff about that on a day that he's being named as the head coach? Stuff that happened in his college years. Yeah, we're gonna go to the closet. We're gonna go through the closet. I know that motherfucker got a skeleton somewhere. And guess what? I'm gonna find it. Now, the latest, matter of fact, before the latest thing, and then I remember when she came on First Take at the behest of Stephen A., she actually tried to shout down Stephen A. on his own show and talk to him like he was a petulant child. And Stephen A. had to be like, whoa, listen, this is my show. You're going to talk to me with respect, and we're going to have a conversation. You're not going to be on my show and chastise me for my opinion or for the information that I have or for the questions that I have. And the question was, well, we know all about Big Dick Adoka's indiscretions. How come we don't know about anything about old girl over here? And to me, it was a perfectly okay question to ask. The latest incident was this past week at the NBA draft. Scotty Miller was picked second by the Charlotte Hornets. Now, Scotty Miller, in his, I don't know, I think it's 1 year in Alabama, was involved and is involved in an open case, considering, talking about, well, a young woman lost their life because I believe her boyfriend, shot the woman dead, and Scotty Miller, I believe, was friends or didn't know the shooter, and somehow, some way, he was involved. I believe he called the victim for her location, told the dude, and the dude went to the location and killed her. I believe it's an ongoing investigation. He is unclassified as a cooperating witness because he was not found at fault, as in he didn't point the gun, but they're pretty much using him to fill in the spots. Wow, that is news. Wow, that is an issue. I would say if he fell down, if he was a projected top 3 pick and he fell down the draft, and let's say he fell to the end of the first round and he finally got picked, and now the questions were, well, why do you believe Scotty Miller fell all the way from projected top 3 pick to pick number 25? Then I think that's a reasonable reason to bring that up. Evidently, Charlotte had no problem picking him. To me, that's something maybe that could have been discussed the day after on your show, NBA Today. Because are you a journalist? Are you a commentator? Or are you an opinionist? Because you have the right to bring that up. But how did it correlate to that particular moment? I'll wait. That, like I said, that's something, and like I said, this is not to be disrespectful to the young woman whose life was lost at all. It would even be more so. I could understand more so if you want to spotlight what Scotty Miller was dealing with, or the controversy he has, and you did that to make sure that the young woman's life was in vain. Your young woman's the situation that ended the young woman's life wasn't glossed over. Then if you were so concerned, why didn't you have a member of her family up there? Maybe it's too traumatic. I watched too much SVU, so I could understand that. But I don't know. I just feel like she gets glee in going in the closet, seeing whatever skeletons you have, and pull it out at the most inopportune time. Like, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what Malika Andrews' problem is. I mean, you winning, baby. But I just hope, you know what? Even though I did say I was gonna be uncensored, I'm not gonna say what's on my mind right now. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, Malika Andrews. I don't know. Sometimes it goes back to that saying, never trust a big button to smile. Matter of fact, before I get off this subject, I know exactly what I'm going to add to this subject. It actually had nothing to do with Malika Andrews, but it has something to do with society as a whole. Do you know that, matter of fact, I'll save it to later. Next subject. Chris Paul traded to the Warriors. To my Warriors. For Jordan Poole. I don't know how I feel about this. I swear I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this mother effer being a Golden State Warrior for at least 10 years. Matter of fact, yeah, at least 10 years strong. he has been public enemy number one to the Golden State Warriors in various situations. When he was a member of Lob City, the Los Angeles Clippers, it was all good until the rabbit had the gun. I.e., it was all good when you was far and away the number one point guard in the league until Wardell Stephen Curry came on the scene, start feeling himself, start feeling his oats, and caught you with the buck on the baseline, made you stagger like the drunk that some people are. And then all of a sudden, all the shade came. But it goes deeper than that. They have North Carolina roots. Chris Paul went to Wake Forest. Stephen Curry went to Davidson, but was born and raised in North Carolina just the same. 4-year difference. And from my reading and watching of videos from Marcus Thompson of The Athletic, when the backstory, some of the backstory is they were in the same circles in North Carolina basketball. And at one point, to a certain degree, Stephen Curry looked up to Chris Paul. And Chris Paul, especially when he saw Stephen Curry starting to nip at his heels, dog came out. Tried to keep him down, tried to push him down, tried to keep him down. The pettiness came out. Remember when he did the shimmy back to Steph when they were up 3-1? And then guess what? Pop went the hamstring. And that 3-1 lead, or should I say 3-2 lead, was bye-bye. Then the next year, they promptly got eliminated by the Warriors. And he promptly got shown out the door when he was in Houston. And then he hitched his wagon to the Phoenix Suns for the last 3 years. Last 3 years, they had great seasons. Matter of fact, 2 60-win seasons this year. Not so much. Got Kevin Durant. And guess what? Kevin Durant, quiet as kept. Got him the fuck up out of there. Chris Paul either had to accept the trade or look to be waived because his salary cap number, $40 million, was inflated due to his eroding skills, even though he is still a great pure point guard, but his injury history makes him less than reliable. For the fact that he was traded for Jordan Poole, it's twofold. One, it's a kind of close to even swap of salaries. Number two, it gets the Warriors from underneath Jordan Poole's 4-year extension that was due to kick in beginning of next season. And it got Jordan Poole off the team because they have every intention on bringing Draymond Green back to the team, even though Draymond opted out. But opted out so he can get a longer new contract, hopefully with longer new money. News came out almost immediately following the announcement of this trade that Jordan Poole was persona non grata when it came to the Warriors. That part of the reason why Draymond Green was not disciplined harshly when we was talking about concerning the punch heard around the world when he knocked Jordan Poole, we tapped that jaw and knocked him out, was because the core, the veteran presence on the Warriors, were kind of fed up with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's arrogance, Jordan Poole's cocky ways, so they say. They said Jordan Poole was trash talking not only Draymond, not only Clay, but Steph Curry himself. Do you believe that if Steph Curry did not sign off on this deal, but did not approve of Jordan Poole being vanquished, that this would have happened? Do you not believe that if Steph Curry did not give the okay with Chris Paul joining this team, this would have happened? Now, I'm not going to go into a whole in-depth analysis about, oh yeah, Jordan Poole, which guard, he's proven. No, what he's proven is that he is a good player. But I don't understand how you go from the heir apparent to Steph to being shipped off to the land of misfit toys, the Washington Wizards, just that quick. Unless there's a little bit kernel of truth when it comes to maybe wearing out his welcome. But you got to look at it from his point of view. When I start, I'm a bucket. Yeah, I know I'm sloppy at times. I'm reckless at times. But damn near this whole team is reckless at times. I should fit in. When you give me starter minutes, matter of fact, when I'm a starter, I could drop 30 any given day, any given game. I'm more consistent because I'm getting consistent minutes. But you expect me to get half the amount of minutes and give you the same productivity. And then if I choose or if I'm not up to snuff, you're quick to yank me for also ran. How am I supposed to feel? Did I not help y'all get that chip last year? Would y'all have gotten that chip without me? Remember, I was the third splash brother, right? Pool party out this bitch, right? Y'all let your man knock me the fuck out. And I'm supposed to just smile and grin? I'm supposed to be all rich girl. I'm supposed to be all chummy with this dude? I'm supposed to chop it up with this dude? I'm not supposed to feel a fucking way? I'm supposed to let him bark on me without saying nothing? I'm supposed to feel away? I'm not supposed to feel away that I see y'all all smiling in his face, knowing darn well it was caught on the whole world to see this dude tapping my jaw? And even with all that being said, Jordan Poole handled himself with the utmost class. Now, do I think that in this past playoffs, he was playing optimal? No. Do I think in this series against the Lakers, was he playing at his full capability? No. Tell you the truth, I think when he pulled up from 35 and missed that three, and he got all the naysayers which are coming for his head, and not one Warrior player, not one Warrior staffer really came to his defense. I think he said, you know what? I'm shutting it down. I'm going to play for me. I really could care less because y'all acting like a motherfucker don't got a ring just like y'all. It's very complicated, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm a petty dude. So if Jordan Poole did do everything I just said that he might have done, it's not the most professional thing to do, but he did for the majority of the season handle himself as a professional. He wasn't having temper tantrums on the court like Mr. Draymond. And yeah, while Draymond might be integral to the success of the Warriors, the way that could have been handled totally differently, and I really feel like that's why this season was always up and down, up and down, up and down, and they really couldn't have no traction in the playoffs. Tell you the truth, they were lucky that they got out of Sacramento, and this is a Golden State Warriors fan saying it. Probably would have been a better series in Sacramento. It would have been Sacramento and the Lakers because I'll say it here first. as much as the Golden State Warriors' arrogance can be a plus, the arrogance can borderline on delusional, and that is a minus. And I really believe, especially after they got out of the first round, due to none other than Stephen Stephen Curry, he put them on his back and got them that win. I think they just thought, yeah, we could do this. We're gonna do this over again. It's the Warriors Internet. It's the Warriors Invitational. But you needed everybody on board with that. Kuminga wasn't feeling y'all. Poole wasn't feeling y'all. Everybody else wasn't really up to par. Because proof is in the pudding. I don't know. It's tough. Now, for the Chris Paul part, I'm gonna give a shout out to McDowell, because for two things. One, I know he was kind of heartbroken when he saw his beloved Chris Paul traded from his beloved Phoenix Suns. Not only traded from the Phoenix Suns, but to the Golden State Warriors. He expressed to me that he was going to keep score. He was going to keep tabs on all the Warrior faithful that hated Chris Paul with every fiber of their being, and see how that, if they're going to keep that same energy that they had now that he's part of the team. I ain't going to lie. It's going to be hard for me to root for Chris Paul. But I also not going to lie. And as much as on the outside looking in, it looks like, yeah, that's a bad match. They like to play fast. He likes to play them methodically. At the same time, maybe, just maybe, them having to slow it down, them having Chris Paul hopefully healthy at key parts of the season, key parts of the games in the playoffs, will be a plus. It will allow them to actually exhibit the collective basketball IQ that they have and stop playing like some freaking idiots at times. It'll also free Steph from having to be the primary ball handler in times where Draymond is either in foul trouble, suspended, or just not feeling it. You know how many times how many teams used to blitz Curry just to get the ball out their hand? Now, if you have Curry and Paul on the court at the same time, you can't blitz, because you automatically, all right, if you blitz Curry, he's going to give it up to Paul and reset. If you blitz Paul, that's just giving Curry, possibly Curry or Clay, especially if he rounds back into form, a wide open three. Will Chris Paul be amendable for coming off the bench? I hope so. Because who the fuck is coming off the bench? You're going to have Steph and Clay, Wiggs, Draymond, and Looney. That's your five. Chris Paul can come, get the best out of Kuminga if they decide to keep Kuminga. Still nurture Moses Moody and whatever odd parts that they might have on the bench. He can actually give them true strength in numbers once again. But will I be rooting for Chris Paul himself? Will I? Will I be rooting for this motherfucker? Look at him. Trying to take a charge. Look at his right hand. About to go searching for Jordan Poole's nuts. Imagine having Chris Paul and Draymond Green on the same team. One is as dirty as it gets. The other one is Draymond Green. My cousin, who I saw in North Carolina, who I definitely got to call back because I think he think I'm ignoring him. I'm not ignoring him. I just had a lot of things on my plate. And I'm bad. When somebody calls me, I miss the call. I'm very bad in turning the phone call right away. It's just, unfortunately, that's a flaw of mine. And I do apologize. But even cousin because he's a Chris Paul lover. He's like, yeah, cuz I want to hear your take on him joining the Warriors. I know how much you hate Chris Paul. Yeah, and that would be correct. There got to be another corresponding move. I don't know exactly how it's gonna work out because I don't know. Right now it's not even trading time yet. Trading deadline is well, not trading deadline. Free agency opens next week and a half from now. I think July 6th. So we will see how everything shuffles up. I'm not going to talk about the Bradley Beal to Phoenix Suns because I personally think that solves nothing. That's another thing that Mr. McDowell, he was on cloud nine when it came to the acquisition of Bradley Beal, and then he reached the depths of no return when they got rid of Chris Paul. Now, you answer me this question. Matter of fact, everybody is free to answer this question. Who's the point guard? Who's setting your offense up? You better not say Devin Booker, because if you have Devin Booker revert back to being a point guard, you're taking away his aggressiveness. You're taking away what you need him most for. Bradley Beal is not a point guard. Kevin Durant needs to handle the ball less. He needs to be a slasher. He needs to be someone who could get you in a post, get you that two, and take over a game. But he needs to conserve his energy because Monty Williams was dragging him on the floor. I mean, running him into the ground. And so was Steve Nash before Steve Nash got canned. And this is a man coming off an Achilles injury. And he's hurt every year. So the one thing, at least with, Bradley Beal's been hurt a lot too, but I think a lot of that hurt was emotional. He wanted to get out of Washington, but he wanted his bread first. That's what he got. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Now, last night, AEW put on, some say, the card of the year so far. I can't say that because guess what? I didn't watch the whole card yet. I've only watched 2 matches, and it was the most important matches, in my opinion. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, faced off against Kushika Okada. I know I butchered the hell out of his first name, but let's just keep it short. Okada. Bryan Danielson said, "You may be the Rainmaker, but when you face me, I'm going to put you in the fucking desert and dry you out. And after I dry you out, guess what else I'm going to do? I'm going to kick your fucking head in." Okay, that's what he does. Because he is the litmus test of greatness. His words. And I do agree. The litmus test of greatness. This is, I'm going to say, about the middle of their matchup. last night. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna rewatch it. I am gonna rewatch it. No, it's all right, babe. I missed you. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to whisper. It's okay, babe. No, my lovely wife just came into the apartment of relevancy. And do you want to say hi to the people?
Hello, people.
No, I want you to.
You like this?
Hi, babe, you're my wife.
Hello.
Yes. Finally, I got her on a cameo on the actual video. But yeah, I love my wife so much. Shoot, and maybe if time permits tonight, I might be able to go into the forbidden door. Actually, nothing forbidden because I'm married. So, let's just say the door. But I digress. Yeah, because she just got me so flustered I just forgot where I was going. Yeah, but I only watched 2 matches last night. And those were pretty much the two selling points, which was Okada and Danielson and Ospreay versus Omega.This, right? Like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I watched out of those 2 matches, I have opinions on them. I will start with Omega versus Ospreay. Omega versus Ospreay, to me, was a great match. It was more, I guess the best way I could describe it, it was more emotional to me than their first encounter. We're not talking, I'm not going to go back to 2012 or 13 in PWG. I'm talking about the 2 encounters this year. The first encounter in Japan at Wrestle Kingdom, January 4th. That match to me was technically better because the lead up to that, they had the one-sided promos coming from Ospreay, pretty much calling Omega out, calling him all types of insults, letting him know that I'm the new and improved version of what you ran away from the grind. I'm the new and improved version of you in New Japan, and I'm going to prove it. And when he lost, he was heartbroken. He was devastated. He was frustrated because he knew he had him. But that was, to me, Kenny Omega's re-coming out party, if that makes sense. Because for the whole time he's been in AEW, everybody has been wishing, wanting the New Japan Kenny Omega. And go figure, we did get the New Japan Kenny Omega in New Japan. And I'm like, yo, where the hell has this been for the last 3 years in AEW? Sans the injuries. Just the fire that was there was that hasn't been there the last 3 years in AEW was there on January 4th. The viciousness that he displayed, pretty much putting Will Ospreay in his place. Like, I done heard you talk mucho shit for months. When I get your ass in the ring, I'm going to shut you the hell up. And that's what Kenny Omega did on January 4th. This match last night at Forbidden Door, to me, took a back seat to a certain degree to the ongoing story between Kenny Omega and his former mentor, his former manager, Don Callis. Callis Callis accompanied Ospreay to the ring. Callis got thrown out of the match, told to go to the back. He came back to ringside and indirectly affected the results. The reason I say indirectly is because this is one of the parts that actually took me out of the match, but I get it. Look, I'm not going to be a stickler for reality. I get it. Omega was the clear face. Okada was the clear heel. There was late in the match, Callis distracted the referee and gave Ospreay a screwdriver, in which Ospreay, when he was about to get put into the one-winged angel, jabbed Kenny Omega dead in the head. Did a Stormbreaker. Did a one-winged angel in consecutive moves, and Kenny Omega kicked out at 1. Now, I know what it was. He was quote unquote hulking up. The adrenaline, he no-selled it. But what was the point of the screwdriver if that did not directly influence the finish? On top of that, it didn't even draw any new blood. Don't get it. Ospreay ended up winning the match. Kenny Omega was destroyed at the end of the match. It makes you wonder, are they going to do Ospreay Omega 3 at All In or All Out? Well, whatever, the Wembley Stadium show, which we still don't know whether it's going to be on streaming, whether it's going to be on regular TV, whether it's going to be on a pay-per-view / app. We don't know. I guess they're going to have to start getting that in tune soon now that Forbidden Door is over. But I don't know. It's just it left me wanting more. Like I said, the match was phenomenal. I preferred the Wrestle Kingdom match to be the better of the two. Like I said, this one was more emotional. This was more storyline based. And the crowd was a factor. I'm going to cheat right now. And I'm going to go to something that I sent the boys from Gimmick Infringement. I asked them which match did they like better out of the two main events, Ospreay versus Omega or Bryan versus Okada. And second, which Omega Ospreay match did they like better? The response that I got was Omega Ospreay, as in the better of the two matches at Forbidden Door. But Winchester, and I'm quite sure, matter of fact, quick plug, check their Forbidden Door review out on the page of the 19 Media Group, GI, Gimmick Infringement, where they recap the whole lineup from Forbidden Door. It's a super duper episode. I haven't had a chance to catch it yet. But let's put it this way. I think I'm trying to match them for 2 hours worth of content. And to tell you the truth, I might just pass them. Hopefully not. But yeah. He liked the Wrestle Kingdom match better. The presentation, the drama, the arena. And it was the first one. But he felt that tonight's match was the better match. And at first, when I read this, I'm like, huh? But then when I let it marinate, I get exactly what he was saying. The same thing I'm saying. The emotions of it, the intensity of it, the crowd reaction of it, because Toronto hated Will Ospreay to death. And Will Ospreay gave them every reason to hate him. He did the old HBK gimmick where he wiped his ass with the Canadian flag. He dug his nose. He wiped his nose with the Canadian flag. And he simulated him jerking off and splashing out all over the Canadian fans. So he was the pure heel. Like I said, I prefer match-wise the Wrestle Kingdom also, but I definitely understand where Mr. Winchester is coming from, as in the better match, overall match. All 4 or 5 elements of a good match. I get it. I'm gonna rewatch that again so I can really better appreciate it, maybe, because I was watching it on my phone, my trusty phone. Because, like I said, I was out of state, but I wanted to make sure I caught those 2 matches before I got contaminated with everybody else's take. Now, the Okada Danielson match, it was a good match. And I know those type of matches are hard to live up to expectations. And for me, I don't particularly feel like it lived up to the expectation that at least myself put on that match. It was a good match. Was it match of the year? No. Was it match of the night? No. And maybe perhaps some of that is due to, which we found out afterward, that Bryan Danielson fractured his forearm with 10 minutes left in the match. So probably the ending sequence was way different than how they wanted it to be. I wouldn't say planned, but how they wanted it to be, how they wished it could be. And also, while it shouldn't surprise me that if Danielson won, it was going to be by submission, to me, the submission kind of came out of nowhere and it almost felt flat. And I think it was more of the shock and awe, the shock and surprise that Okada tapped out. He tapped out. I believe this is setting up for a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom. I hope it does. And I also believe that if and when they do face off in a rematch at Wrestle Kingdom, we will have a totally different match, a totally different intensity, a totally different, just matter of fact, a totally different match in all aspects, because it'll be in a totally different environment, an environment conducive to wrestling. Not saying this environment wasn't. It's just it's different. It's just different. I can't put my finger on it, but an AEW match and a New Japan match, while the movesets might be similar, the environment is totally different. Yeah. So will I say that those 2 matches, like I said going into it, was all I needed to actually depart with my $50, my 50 buckaroos? Well, it's too late now because it's already done. I'll say so, because who would have thought as recently as 2 years ago that we would have Okada versus Danielson? Not I. You know, and to tell you the truth, who's to say that I shouldn't put some of the blame, if anything, for not rising to the occasion on Okada. Okada, to me, is a little bit past his peak. His peak was 2017, 2018. He was untouchable. All subsequent runs with the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the IWGP World Championship have been kind of flat to me. So, I know it's a controversial opinion. You agree? You don't? You disagree? Put it in the fucking comments. Let me know how you feel. But yeah, Forbidden Door. It was a 5-hour show. I'm glad I didn't watch 5 hours and then partly I think the crowd might have been a little bit burnt out after the Omega Ospreay match, and they put the buffer match as in the 6-man tag with Sting, Darby, and Naito versus Minoru Suzuki, Sammy, and Jericho. That was the come down match, and for some reason I don't think they was able to rep back up to their peak because it was 15 matches. I think they had 5 matches on the buy-in. 0 hour, whatever you want to call it. As much as you try to cram things in, you're gonna burn the crowd out, and maybe that's part of the reason why it happened. I'll reserve my CM Punk thoughts for a later time because I'm approaching that time, and I really do need to try to put all this, put a bow tie around all this. So yeah, Forbidden Door for those 2 matches are thumbs up. When I do go back and watch the full show, I'll give y'all probably a quick 5 minutes on it next week. Because next week it's looking like it's going to be a wrestling centric show with Money in the Bank coming up and the Bloodline Civil War about to explode. Yeah, so I'll give you my CM Punk return thoughts next week. You see that hashtag? Do you see that hashtag? Do you know what that hashtag is? You don't know what it is? Read it! Salty Summer 3. People want to know what Salty Summer is. And I explained to it last week, but I will say it again. Salty Summer is the terminology I use. 2 things. 1, for a summer of enjoyment, a summer of fun, featuring yours truly and my family and my extended family. And specifically, Salty Summer is the excursions that me, my wife, Sister Steph, and Brother Mont go on during the summer. 2 summers ago, we went to Virginia, had a great time. Probably one of the best times I've had in at least 2 decades. It came at a trying time for me, and I will always appreciate them for doing that for us. I know if they're listening to this, if they're watching this, like, Mike, if you don't stop, but it needs to be said. I'll say time and time again, it needs to be said. Like, it came at the right time, and it really uplifted our spirits at the absolute right time. Last year, went to AC for a couple of days. Tried to, get the vibes of the year before, which was great. We did a little bit of gambling, walked the boardwalk, just spending time with each other, just chopping it up. It was a wonderful time. But this year, that's why it's in all capital letters. This year, Salty Summer has started, but it starts full throttle in about 2 weeks. Matter of fact, 2 weeks from today, yours truly will be out of the country for the very, very, very first time. We're going on an excursion we're going on a cruise to the Bahamas with Sister Steph and Brother Mon. Debauchery will be at play. Fun will be had by all. And not only is it just us four, no. This one will be truly a family trip. Main event K will be making her debut on a cruise ship. She getting out of the country, more than 3 decades before her pops had gotten out of the country. They will be bringing their youngest son with them. And we will be surrounded by other family members. And it's going to be a great time. It's funny. For all the years that I used to be on the lookout for anybody going to the islands, anybody going on a boat trip, anybody going anywhere out of the country, so I could get me a bottle of white Henny. Guess what? I'm going out of the country. I'm going to the islands, and I can get me some white Henny. But guess what? Mike Steph don't drink no more. Ain't that about a bitch? But I'm not mad. Tell you the truth, it might be a blessing. Well, it's been a blessing in disguise in numerous ways. But pertaining to Salty Summer 3, best part about me not drinking anymore is the fact that I probably will be able to remember everything that I do on this trip. I won't have no blackouts. I won't have no hangovers. I won't have no sour stomach. I probably gained a couple pounds. I already told Brother Lamar, I'm like, look, you drink a cocktail, I drink the virgin version. You drink a beer, I'll drink the non-alcoholic version. And that's a lot of sugar, a lot of yeast, a lot of calories. But regardless, we're going to be there to have fun in the Bahamas. Hopefully, we do not. No, you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up. I'm not going to talk it up. Hopefully, it'll be clear skies all the way. Yes. So, with all that being said and done, we have reached the end of another edition of the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making me and this hit podcast the one y'all choose to listen to and the one y'all choose to view. I would also like to thank each and every one of y'all for indulging me in my 50 minutes of venom at the very beginning of this podcast. Because guess what? I ain't chopping this shit up. Y'all going to get all this podcast all at once. Kind of a way that I like giving my loving all at once. Dig it. Yeah. Like I said, next week will be more of the same, but it will probably be a special wrestling-centric episode in which I will be recapping WWE's premium live event dropping this coming Saturday, July 1st, entitled Money in the Bank, emanating from the O2 Arena in London, England. For all my wrestling heads out there, which I know there's probably none of y'all, but remember, it's not dropping. It's not going to come on at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, 8 o'clock in the evening. No. This will be another afternoon PLE. This time starting at 3. So, kind of works out for me, kind of, because I can probably sneak and watch it, and then half my shift will be gone by the time it's over. Yeah, you gotta know how to get away with these things. But yeah, that's what's going to be on deck next week. I'm going to end this podcast. I'm going to end this episode by giving you a couple opinions. Giving you a couple opinions on the state of R&B. R&B music. You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why? Because on my trip, on my Father's Day trip, or should I say my Happy Motherfuckers Day trip to North Carolina, my ears were subjected to the sounds of this woman that's on my screen. Do you know who this woman is? Matter of fact, okay, Kayla, how you doing? What's the matter? Okay, you're not on camera, but I want you to come here. Yes, come here. Yeah. Who's this person on my screen? No, I know. Say it loud enough for the masses to hear you, please. Yeah, this is Main Event K, y'all. I'm not going to put it on camera, but you can hear Main Event K. Who's that on the screen? Summer Walker. And who is Summer Walker? A singer. And what name some of her hits that I had to listen to for about hour upon hour upon hour. Well, as long as just give me 3.
It's No Love.
Nobody can hear you.
No Love.
No Love.
Girls Need Love.
Girls Need Love.
And Circus.
You think they can hear you from over there back there?
I can't speak.
You can't speak.
Circus.
All right, how does Circus go? Let's put it this way. I'm going to say, I don't know if this is the name of the song, but I'm going to say the lyrics of this song, and she can tell me the name of it. All I want to do is get drunk, and do drugs. What's the name of that song? No Love. Okay. Then there's a song. Darn, I forgot. Actually, this is a song my wife actually liked. All I remember is Put It On Your Grave, nigga. What's the name of that one? Yeah, but that's the one with the. I don't know the name. I don't know, but pretty much. But yeah, I listened to this woman. How which wait, it was a playlist that you had, or there was a couple of albums. How many?
2.
Okay, that's all she has.
2 albums, like 2 mixtapes.
Okay, so she got 2 albums. I've heard them both front to back, back to forth. You have one last thing. I know you're tired because I swear, she's giving me the look of death. Like, Dad, you really put me on the spot. Well, guess what? You made me listen to this for hours upon end, so I'm putting you on the spot.
You asked me what I wanted to listen to.
Needless to say, I had to fight myself from sleeping 3 o'clock in the afternoon listening to the sultry sounds of Summer Walker. What makes you like Summer Walker?
I didn't like her music.
What about it?
It's R&B.
Do you like her voice? You think she has a nice voice? Okay.
It's not the only person I listen to.
I know. Trust me. I know that's not the only person you listen to. I know you like Kalani. I know you really like Kalani. And actually, Kalani's which got music, I actually prefer better than Summer Walker. I know you like SZA, right? And SZA's another artist who I prefer over Summer Walker. And what else? Who else?
A lot more, but I can't.
She can't really come up with the names right now, but she knows them when she hears them, right? Okay. All right. Thank you. But yeah, this woman right here. Like I said, what I guess she just told me the name of it. No love. All I want to do is fuck, get drunk, and do drugs. Couple of these songs, she's talking about pulling out the strap because her nigga cheated on her. I'm sorry. I come from, and this is probably my age speaking. Matter of fact, huh? Oh yeah. Matter of fact, yeah. We're gonna get all types of. What do you listen to Summer Walker?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my daughter Mia again. What do you like about Summer Walker? She just called me a hater.
I just think she has a nice voice.
She got a nice voice. Like that shit hasn't been processed into the computer 5 million times. But okay, all right, fine. I asked you a question. I'm gonna let you answer it. Go ahead.
She has a nice voice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to her much. I want to say her music is relatable because I don't be going through that type of stuff.
And you don't be threatening your boyfriend about, yeah, you cheated on me, nigga.
No.
What's good?
No.
To be fair, she does have a new mixtape that's a lot cleaner.
She has like her, what is it called? Soft Girl Life or something? Soft Life?
Oh. Soft Life? Okay. So
it's a lot more tamed.
See, okay, no, like I said, I keep on cutting you off. I apologize, but go ahead.
I think she's going down the she's in her spiritual holistic era.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's generally how she is.
Okay.
She's, I don't know.
Yeah, isn't she the one that don't like deodorant?
What?
I'm asking.
Kayla, come confirm this. She don't wear deodorant.
She does.
Oh,
but
Are you on Twitter?
huh?
Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter.
Not as much as I used to be.
Okay, good. That's false.
Oh, so she does wear deodorant.
She made a comment a few years ago about how she take whole baths. Sorry, excuse my language.
Oh yeah, the ones that you just pretty much you just
bird bath.
Yeah, the bird bath at the sink with the wet wipes.
She was explaining because she was saying it because she's on a tour bus and stuff like that. And I don't know.
Okay, so being the fact she's on a tour bus, she thinks it's acceptable just to wear a bird bath. But go ahead.
I don't agree with most of her. I don't know. People do weird things. But like I said, Kayla, help me out. I can't.
All I gotta say is, I don't know why she said that first off, but I know, and a lot of people know that she isn't as untidy as people claim to be.
Okay.
She's an adult. If she says she takes bird baths, I don't know if that's a joke or not. It's none of my business. All I know is that if you're an adult, you know yourself. If you know that you're clean, you're clean. Don't worry about whatever other people think.
I just feel like she's real. Like, does that make sense? Like, normally celebrities would be like all high and mighty and stuff like that.
She's relatable.
She'll say what's on.
She's the average Jane.
And doesn't care about the consequences. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, pretty much.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't agree with most. She just be talking sometimes and be like, okay, you doing too much. But it's like, that's you. And I respect it. You don't try to hide it. So.
I know one thing. If I hear another song that starts with London on the beat.
All right. I think she's done with.
Yeah. Isn't that the one that cheated on her? Because I can swear one of those songs she was talking about. Yeah, they said you said you was making beats, but you was over here beating.
Her first 2 albums was about that man. We're gonna leave him in the past, and now she's progressing, and we love to see it.
Okay, and that man was London on the beat.
London tracks.
London on the beat.
Okay, listen. Kayla is sharing her music taste with you.
This is the first year I ever shared my music taste with you.
It's okay. No. Okay. I'm look. To be transparent, part of it is content, but part of it was because I was going out my effing mind listening to this.
All right, can we just agree, like?
But everybody has their own taste.
All right, on road trips, you get like what, an hour maybe?
No. Your mother let them rock.
Oh, I forgot it was. I can't. That's so funny. But to be fair, we do be listening to some of your music too.
Uh-huh.
So I think, and the podcast, yeah, putting a podcast on during the road trip.
Oh, but so you talking about me, right?
I only
Oh,
said
don't
that
you know
because
Daddy
of-
put on a wrestling podcast while we was driving?
You put on a wrestling podcast?
I didn't even
After
mention
3 hours of Summer Walker.
that. Look, I went straight to sleep after. I was already asleep. That just put me to sleep.
Wow. Wow. You hear this? You hear this? I'm getting double teamed by my two daughters. Which
it makes you sleepy, but wrestling podcasts, those are kind
no,
of
because that's something I'm interested in. Look, and like I said, I gave Summer Walker a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it I'm like, okay, as you always say, some of it was a bop. But some of it was like, y'all all sound the same. Like I said, I even put some scissor on. Because I'm like, I'd rather listen to scissor than her.
You gotta put it on scissor.
Yeah.
I put on the control.
Oh.
Yeah, I put that one on.
You put on SOS.
Both.
You put on
No. No, the first one she asked. No, matter of fact, I think the first one was Kiana. So we put the which got I guess the one that's out now. I guess what that's SOS. Okay. That one is all right because matter of fact, Kayla had me listen to it when we came back from Virginia. Okay, fine. I actually, if I had to choose, I like Control a little bit better than SOS, but SOS does have some songs.
Control is my favorite album.
You know, so don't label me at the old head that don't. It's just, see, I guess this is my point of view. This is my thought. Cause I'm over 2 hours. I've been talking. Yeah, I know this is a mega show. I'm from the school, and like I said, this is purely a subjective. I'm from the school of when I was growing up and I heard R&B specifically from females, even if they were talking some real life relationship stuff, I didn't expect to hear the female R&B singer talk about, yeah, this nigga, I'm gonna fuck him up. I'm not used to that. If anybody I would have thought would have said that would have been Mary J. Blige, because Mary J. Blige used to come off like you were a rapper. Real love. But if you listen to the lyrics, like, okay, I guess that was my thing of, and then they all got the, you know, that voice, that light airy voice, like her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I even say which got what's the other one? Chloe Bailey. She be doing too much. I really think she should stay in one lane. Mm-hmm. Stop chasing what the hot girls are doing. Just do you. You got a great voice. If you be true to yourself, I think she would have more success. That's just me. I know we just came into our impromptu R&B tour, but some of the songs, some of the which artists you listen to, okay, because it's more. I guess it's more like, I won't say neo soul, but they're more earthly.
You call my music insecure music.
Oh well, no, because those are, yeah, I used to call my daughter's music taste insecure music, but not insecure in the which go in the definition of insecure. It was the show, you know, insecure. They used to always have like their soundtracks. So I used to always like, oh yeah, that's so I heard that. I remember that. That was for insecure. So yeah, but though, yeah, you know, but I don't know. That's just me. That's almost like, to me, that's the equivalent of Anita Baker talking about giving you the best that I got, instead of saying giving you the best that I got, give you a taste of my Glock. Just, I don't get it. But yeah, that's my little rant. That's my little rant. You know, my daughters are looking over me like, Dad, I know you just, I know part of it is just for content, but Dad, you really be on some old crap sometime. Because we hear some of the music that you and Mommy listen to, and that shit is trash.
Not trash.
Okay.
I jinxed it. Nobody said it was trash.
Okay. Yeah, damn sure ain't trash. Because guess what? This is, I guess this sound this. What you say? What she say?
I thought she said some of it. Oh.
This is what I'll say. The music that I like, and tell you the truth, it's not even part of my time because this music came out when their grandparents were in their formative years, 70s, 80s, 90s. That music that I listen to, timeless. I can listen to that. Those songs are 30, 40 years old, but they can relate to today. I guarantee you, 10 years from now, you're going to be listening to a Summer Walker song from now? Probably not.
Okay.
It probably doesn't age well.
I'll be 20. I won't even be 30.
Yeah, you'll be 26. Yeah, I guarantee you, if they come on, it comes on the radio, even if they got radio in 10 years, because whatever, or it comes on whatever, they're not gonna say throwback because they're gonna be throw out. Because nobody gonna be listening to that crap. And also, now since I'm on a rant, yeah, I didn't totally went off the rails, but I don't care. I wonder how many people actually going to even click to see this when they see 2 hours plus. But the rap. Yeah, I'm going to say it. The rap. Some of it, I can listen to it, and I'm appreciative. But can y'all change your effing flows up? Everybody don't need to have the same fucking flow. Everybody got the same fucking flow. If it ain't that, it's the drill flow. Some of them y'all might be spitting shit, but it becomes like white noise so much that I'll be like, who is that? Ice Spice? No, Dad, it's somebody else. But they sound like Ice Spice. Who's that? Ice Spice? No, that's Dad. That's somebody else. Oh, they sound like Ice Spice. And then I'm like, darn, who's that? Ice Spice. You can't tell me that wasn't her three songs ago. With all that being said, I think I should get out of here before I really alienate myself to potential listeners. Not that I really care. I don't beg y'all to watch. I don't beg y'all to listen. Yeah. See? They got my back. But more importantly, I don't want to alienate myself to my kids because I love them. Even though we might have different taste in music, that's what makes us a family. That's what makes us whole. Because it's yeah, go ahead. But you gotta come over here and so you if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to. But so the mic will pick up.
Okay, so worst case scenario, you do have a few more listeners, right? And it makes it on Twitter. I don't believe that's gonna survive Twitter, especially Stan Twitter.
Especially what?
Stan Twitter.
I guess my daughter don't really realize as much as she thinks she knows her father that her father could give a rat about Twitter.
No, I'm just saying.
No. The reason I say that is because, case in point, this here podcast, this here YouTube show, right? Do you know for years and years and years, I would promote this shit on Twitter, Instagram, not so much Facebook, but those two entities, right? And then I said, you know what I'm going to do? I think once or twice, I forgot to actually post to promote. And guess what? My numbers were the same. Tell you the truth, in some cases, my numbers were better when I didn't promote it on Twitter or Instagram. Because guess what? Half these mother effers that follow me don't listen to my shit.
I think maybe they feel a little little attack.
No. Actually, this would be a fair attack. Normally, I don't go off like this. But when she said, "Oh, in case this makes it on Twitter,"
I said
worst case scenario makes it on Twitter. Shoot, I put it on Twitter. They'll see my face. They'll see this Twisted Bliss T-shirt, and they'll be like, "You know what? He's sitting on his couch." Scroll. He got a dying plant in the background. Scroll.
Hey, don't come at mommy's plant. Don't do that.
He looked like he's sweating. Scroll. Anyway, yeah, I love y'all. I really no, which go all jokes aside, no, I really love y'all. I really do. Yeah. So, whatever else was on tap, guess what? Y'all see the time. It's been time for me to get out of here. So I'll speak to y'all next week. Same Mike Steph time, same Mike Steph channel. Oh, yeah. Shoot, why not?
Yeah.
Just to prove my point, I'm gonna promote the Salty Thoughts of Mike Steph podcast is available on the following platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, the formerly named Anchor.fm's, amongst others. New episodes most times drops on Mondays, even though I'm recording this on Monday. You can follow me at Mike Steffens _ on Twitter, which half y'all motherfuckers don't. At Mike _ Steph on Instagram, but I appreciate everybody that watches my videos. And at Mike Steph on TikTok, where guess what? I got banned for 2 days on TikTok because I ended up showing a Thundercat picture where I guess they deemed it was nudity. No, it was fucking Thundercats.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. What?
Matter of fact, I'll show you. I'll show you real quick before I get out of here. This is what I put on. This is what I put on TikTok.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
But it's a cartoon. No. It's not even a dirty cartoon. It's an actual screenshot of a cartoon. They still play it on Cartoon Network. It's Thundercats.
Do they play it during the day or during the night? This is a huge.
I saw it. This used to come on Channel 5 at 3:00 in the afternoon when I was growing up.
Okay, that was when you were growing up.
I just pointed out the fact that they were showing us cartoon porn when I was 9 years old. Yeah, ain't it? So I had to actually tell them, yo, what y'all banning me for? And I had to appeal it, and I won my appeal. So I'm back on TikTok with more erroneous content.
Yeah.
Maybe this rant will be on TikTok. Maybe it won't. But with all that being said, let me get the hell up out of here because I'm going way longer than I should be. So until next week, goodbye.